This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, several announcements, new stuff, and a deck that goes vroom vroom. Let's get to the deck part and then talk about some announcements. Don't skip the intro. Be cool. Alright. Mardu vehicles. There was a time when just being the most vroom vroomy vroom vroom deck was vroom vroom. But now, every deck is vroom vroom. Historic is an insanely fast meta. An insanely fast format. The best of one format is absolutely insane with... I think that the stats were published somewhere that's like 60% win rate in standard on the play and 40% on the draw just from that stat alone. Historic, where Muxus is a deck, where Neoform Combo is a deck, where every level of burn deck is a Burny deck, where just, oh my gosh, Collected Company, like the list goes on, Embercleave, Gruul, Aggro. Every deck is a turn 4 kill deck for the most part, and it's kind of wild. And so there, I think that being on the play is often like, it might be 80% of the game in Historic, at least from the way it's being played now. Now, I felt that way about Standard when I started playing Best of 1 on Arena. And over time, I got better at Best of 1. And while I still complain pretty often, basically on a daily video basis, about going first and going second, I don't feel that it's completely lopsided like I did when I started playing Best of 1. This is something I think I've just gotten better at, being on the draw in a format with very low room for sequencing error, almost none. But that goes to the next level in Historic, and I haven't figured out yet how to be on the draw in Historic and win games. It's so hard. This particular deck, Mardu Vehicles, was the fastest, most aggressive aggro deck of its time, and it still is a cool deck. So I'm excited to show it to you and try playing an insanely aggressive deck in an insanely aggressive format, even though it's not usually my style. I'm going to talk about several of the new cards. This deck relies completely on Kaladesh, so for those of you who weren't around for Kaladesh, I need to introduce you to all these cards. You may have already turned it off being like, I don't know what any of this does. Stay with me. I'm going to take you on a tour of Kaladesh. First of all, it's a 3-color deck, and everything only requires 1 mana of each color, so we can have a Gigantha as our companion, which is good because you need something to crew vehicles. And the reason that we can pull off 3 colorless aggro now is because of the sweet Kaladesh lands, Concealed Courtyard and Inspiring Vantage. These enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands. So, if this is your first, second, or third land, it's untapped, it's pain-free, and it taps for 1 mana of either color. That is nuts for aggro decks. These are some of the best lands of all time. If you're an aggro mage, you must has them. Go get them now. The shock lands you know and love or hate, unless you just recently joined, these Ravnica shock lands are probably among the best dual lands of all time, because at any point they can be untapped for the cost of 2 life. When you're an aggro deck, you don't care. And Spire of Industry is a big one. You can tap to pay 1 life and add a mana of any color if you control an artifact, and it taps for colorless, pain-free, if you want that too. And this is huge because our whole deck requires an artifact being in play. We'll go down the list and name all the things, but it's an Artifact Matters deck for sure, since we already built our deck in such a way that it would have an artifact most of the time. Spire of Industry is an untapped pay 1 life tri-land, a City of Brass for the throwback fans. And let's get into the cards. Toolcraft Exemplar. At the beginning of combat, if you control an artifact, +2/+1. If you control 3 or more artifacts, first strike. Boom. Hits hard. Punches in face for 3. Hype. Bomat Courier. How do I explain this card? 1 mana for a 1/1 haste. When it attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. It mills you. Ah! Not really. Into exile, and it's face down. You don't know what it is. Tap a red, discard your hand, sacrifice Bomat Courier, put all cards exiled with Bomat Courier into their owner's hands. You attack with this 2 or 3 times. You play every single card in your hand. You sacrifice the Bomat Courier. You draw 3 cards. Boom. It's a lot better than it even sounds. This was one of those cards. I remember reading this set for Kaladesh, and believe it or not, I was streaming back then, although it was Magic Duels. And I remember trying to figure out how good this card is. I was like, this card's really good. Like, the fail state is you get a 1/1 for 1, any color, haste. You attack with it. You exile a card. If the opponent blocks it or kill it, you just discard your hand. You didn't have any hand because you drew it off the top, and you draw a new card. So, like, usually it just gets a free card. But if you play this on turn 1 and cash it in on turn 4 for 4 cards, it feels like cheating. It really does. Inventor's Apprentice is 1 red for a 1/2. Human gets +1/+1 if you control an artifact. So it's 1 mana 2/3. So we've got a 1 mana 3/2 and a 1 mana 2/3 as long as we have artifacts. And then here's part of the thing that Mardu Vehicles didn't have. Glass Casket. I'm still trying to figure out how to win games on the draw, right? So having some removal spells that are also artifacts allow us to play turn 1, like Inventor's Apprentice, brick wall their threat. Turn 2, Casket, power up the Apprentice, take away a threat, and then go from there. And we'll get into the rest of the plays. So this being an artifact, I think, is a pretty cool cheat. Scrap Heap Scrounger, this card is amazing. Can't block, so attack often. But exile a creature card from your graveyard and return it to the battlefield. It's a very sticky artifact that keeps coming back to keep your cards powered up, so it's very key. Veteran Motorist, a 3/1. You get a Scry 2 when you crew a vehicle, +1/+1, so it makes your vehicles hit harder if you're going to crew them anyway. What's a vehicle? It's this! The Heart of Kirin, the Fast and the Furious, the Vroom Vroom. 2 for a 4/4 legendary mythic vehicle, Flying Vigilance, crew 3. It needs 3 power worth of creatures. They don't have to be on the same creature. They can be 1 creature or they can be multiple creatures. Or you can remove a loyalty counter from a planeswalker rather than pay its cost. So you've probably seen vehicles. There have been some crappy ones in a few sets. If you've only played Standard, you may not have seen vehicles in a while. That's because the first time they made vehicles, they made them so good everybody hated them. Still do, in a lot of ways. But this, you play your 2 mana artifact, so it turns on all your dorks. It's a 4/4 with Flying and Vigilance. You crew it, it slams them, then it also hangs out for later. I don't have any Planeswalkers in this deck, by the way. I would love to try out the Planeswalker loyalty cost in a different deck. Pia Nalar, 2 and a red, 2/2. Legend, make a Thopter, make a 2/2. Artifact creature gets +1/+0. Sacrifice an artifact, target creature can't block. It's better than it reads, but I don't know if it's good enough. Unlicensed Disintegration. Destroy target creature. If you control an artifact, Unlicensed Disintegration deals 3 damage. 3 mana, murder a thing, and deal 3 damage to the opponent. This is an aggro dream card. As long as there are creatures in the format, Unlicensed Disintegration is here for you. Dipala. 1 red white, 3/3. A million miles of text on this card. It's a Dwarf Lord. It pumps up dwarves. It's a Vehicle Lord. It pumps up vehicles. The rest of this actually almost never matters. Read it if you want to. Pause the video. I'll wait. No, I won't. Aether Sphere Harvester. 3 and a 3/5 vehicle flying. When it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. Pay an energy. Gain lifelink. This, I thought, would be really good if the meta is super aggressive, which I expect, and you need to buy another turn or 2 with the lifelinkiness of Aether Sphere Harvester against burn. Deck like that, it's very good. Against combo decks, they usually deal you a lot more than 20, and it's slow. So I'm curious to see if this actually stays in the deck, or if the only good vehicle really is Heart of Kirin. I think there's a possibility that's true. Hazaret. I just crafted this card. I never crafted it when Amonkhet came out, but if you've seen Hazaret, you know what's up. Indestructible. Haste. 5/4. Yikes. It can't attack or block unless you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, so make sure you empty your hand. That shouldn't be hard. Our curve is kind of beautiful. But yeah, there's your finisher. The sticky, the tough to stop, the fervent. It's pretty awesome. Now that I've introduced the deck, we can get to some quick announcements. This is already running into a 10-minute intro, which I try to avoid doing. those of you who watch my intros, I mean, I've done it 4 minutes, 6 minutes. That's the comfort zone. Things to announce. No stream on Monday, which I think is the day you're watching this. So those of you who watch this channel and that channel, the Twitch channel, no stream. I'm making some cool content. I haven't fallen off the face of the earth. I haven't flaked out. I haven't dived into a salt mine. Everything's fine. Making some content, can't stream. Thing number 2. Still, please head over to Twitch anyway, even though I'm not streaming. That's kind of cringy. Because it's time to renew your Twitch Prime. I'm recording this on the 15th. The middle of the month is the time of the month where I spend about 4 days reminding everybody to renew their Twitch Primes. Your Twitch Prime subscription is something that you have if you have an Amazon Prime membership and a Twitch account. You get it for free, but it pays me. So it's a cool way to support the channel for free, but you have to renew it every month. So this goes out to you Twitch Prime Army, the many, many people who have created their Twitch Prime accounts and sub to my Twitch channel to help me get paid. Thank you so much. It's the time of month where you need to renew because it doesn't renew on its own. So please make the short journey over to Twitch, hit the renew button, and thank you very much. All right, I've almost talked my voice out in this intro. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. Deck does indeed go a vroom. I'm ready. Exemplar, Bomat, unlicensed. The casket, the big question with casket is always, will it be good? If it's good, it's really good. It's much better on the draw than on the play, where answering threats immediately is going to matter. Ooh. I think we scrounge. It's a good draw. Opponent with a drowned catacomb so far, a blue-black land. What happens next? I think my new mic position is a little quiet. I'm going to try turning it up. Nervous, though. I think moving the mic's a better idea. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, right in there. Alright, mana is open. The opponent might want to remove the Scrounger to keep the Toolcraft Exemplar small, but playing a Bomat Courier should work around that. The biggest risk is Cry of the Canarium, which I just don't see it. You know? You just don't see that card anymore. Rogues, huh? The timing on that play is odd. It lets me do this. Into the box with you. Rogues is playing from behind this time. Brutal. The savagery, the... just too much power. Too much power for the rogue. No red mana, but on the draw it's a good curve against Zerda, which I'm not sure what's up with that, but I think we try it. We're going to take a lot of damage. I guess that's my life. Hollowed Fountain. Each permanent card in your starting deck has an activated ability. Drew a red card, that's a little unfortunate. Aggression first, discard later. Okay, interesting. Opponent could take the Scrounger to try to slow down the aggression. Our hand is not good against a creatureless control deck. I'm thinking that the Zerda companion means that the entirety of our opponent's deck is Planeswalkers. Takes the Thoughtseize. So that implies some kind of a Wrath Sweeper. Another card that is not red. Let's start cutting into that life total. Blood Chief's Thirst. A card that exists in the format with a Fatal Push. Wow, this is a brutal series of draws so far. Don't know how we get out of this. Opponent goes to 10. Well, there's a red source. Settle the wreckage? It's possible. Shark Typhoon, perfect. Into the Unlicensed Disintegration. That's interesting. Opponent's gonna go all the way down to 4 here. And now we have to figure out how to drop our hand so that Hazoret can finish the job. Brutal. Could play out both of these. The opponent, if they spend their turn dealing with a Hazoret, they take 2 from the Apprentice. I think that's better. I think that's a lot better than just playing 1 Gigantha. If only we had mulliganed, we could have won the game right there. See, here's what I expect. Teferi hitting the Hazoret. Now we just need 2 damage. That is not 2 damage, but it's not nothing. Absorb, Wrath of God, Shark Typhoon. It's got to be the Absorb for the life gain.
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
Shark Typhoon open. It's a alright draw. And we know that Hazoret comes next. So if we play this and the opponent plays Wrath, we win the game, right? As long as we don't attack into the Typhoon. And they go with the Scry. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know what gets them out of it. But they bottom both, they draw. I guess looking for Settle the Wreckage is your best chance. Very close. I'm not playing around Settle. Not doing it. Okay, leaving up 1 mana. What could they draw? Will it be a Seal Away? Heartless Act. They got a removal spell. But Wrath of God won't kill Hazoret. The opponent drops to 2. The discard effect from Hazoret. Discard a card. 2 damage to each opponent. They still have to get rid of Hazoret and stop the Apprentice. And indestructibility means Wrath doesn't do it. Narset. Whatever you eliminate. Game. Woo! Pulled that one out of our butt from a pretty awkward hand, to be honest. This hand doesn't have an artifact. Are we going to draw one? We're up against Luris. We'll draw an artifact. We'll give this a try. Any 2 or 3 mana artifact makes this curve really good. What is there, 17 artifacts in the deck? We should be able to count on one. On the draw gives us 2 or 3 draw steps to hit. It's not a huge percentage or anything, but when it comes to winning games of Magic, I think we try it. If not, you'll get the content opportunity to see what happens to the deck when it draws no artifacts. Ooh, that's not good. We're definitely looking at a potential complete fail case scenario with all artifacts matters and no artifacts. So I'm guessing this is auras, and here's a Danto Vanguard. Glass Casket, and it's an artifact right on cue. Let's hope they don't have like land aura critter, because I thought about thought seizing first and letting them put some auras on the Vanguard, and maybe that would have been the right play, but instead they buy Luris. And this is their only creature. This is their only creature. So we take it. Land off the top equals Hazoret. And just dial up the pressure. Put on the blitz, American football fans. Attack. Down to 6. Here's the Heart of Kirin. Here's the Inventor's Apprentice. That is a beating. That land came off the top, I think, which means this is just another aura, which means they are toast. Oh, they're being sporting. They're being sporting. But man, I'm sure they didn't enjoy that very much. So when you play against the aura deck, sometimes just killing off their stuff, they just don't have enough creatures. And that's pretty much what we walked into that time, especially when they mulligan. Ooh, vehicle control, just Thoughtseize the holy hell out of them. We'll have to draw an artifact. I don't know, this hand doesn't feel like it has enough pressure, but if we make them discard all their stuff and then pick at them and unlicensed disintegrate something, is that good enough? We're up against Luris. Luris is a few different decks in the format. This is a content keep. I don't like the idea of trying to grind with them with a bunch of Thoughtseizes and unlicensed disintegration in my aggro deck, but content keep. We also lead on the Thoughtseize because we don't want to lead on the Apprentice. We only have 1 black source and we have 4 black cards to play. So we don't want to bottleneck black mana. We want to use black mana every turn. Selfless Savior is the only creature. We'll take that. It's blue-white auras deck, all the rage today. Ooh, Veteran Motorist, huh? Should we hold off on using another Thoughtseize and try to hit land with our Motorist? Let's go for it. If we hit a land, the unlicensed disintegration's good. Okay, the land is there. We also need an artifact. So I think this is a bottom, and then we double Thoughtseize, Apprentice, and then we need to draw an artifact. All right, no creature. We win again! Compelling content victories for sure. Yeah, sometimes they just don't have a creature and that's the end of the game. Alright, keepsies. We'll drop some Inventor's Apprentice, Bomat Courier, aggro action. And see if the opponent's ready for the 2-3 beats. We have 3 red cards and 1 red source. We want to make sure that we play a red card every single turn so we don't get bottlenecked. There we go. So do you think they have a shock? Let's do it this way just in case. Looks pretty smooth. Goblins again. Maybe we'll get some revenge. I wish I had something to do with that 1 mana besides discard my hand, but we'll take it. Poor Chief. Get him again. The casket's showing up, I think. And lethal is presented. Give me an unlicensed disintegration off the top and let's end this thing in style. Ironcrag feet, Muxus, no! Are you kidding me? Okay. You've got to be kidding me. This is my day. This is my day. All right. So now what? Thoughtseize off the top. How do we get through? I think we have to hit the unlicensed disintegration. We get 4 looks at it, but we don't have the lands to play it. I guess we attack with everything. And then draw the cards. If we're going to draw the cards anyway, should I play a Veteran Motorist first? The Thoughtseize can grab the Chieftain. The Chieftain doesn't make everything lethal, though. I think we play the Motorist. Is leaving up 1 red? Yeah, we have to leave up a red. I don't know why I'm doing it that way. There's some land, but that's not really what we needed now. So we get those to the bottom. We send squad. Block. Some chumps here, which means Bomat gets through, which means now we can't use the Thoughtseize. But I do think I draw the cards. With 1 Muxus to go, we can still hit a land drop and possibly make another play this turn. Wow, that's not great. What else you got? Well, I don't think you can blame me too much. This deck has taken a dump on me. I think we still crash in. The opponent blocks to stay alive. If they have a the Cycling Goblin, it's a blowout. It is a blowout. God, their draw, man. It's so vicious. All right, we got them at 2. Do they have lethal? Krenko, yeah, Krenko's lethal. Man. Oh? Well, not if you don't do it right. Okay, we get another shot. That's not it. It had to be unlicensed disintegration. The flood is breaking my heart. It really is. We're definitely not going to get back to our winning ways if we can't win these die rolls. But I think this hand is good enough to keep. It's another hand without a vehicle. I finally crewed a vehicle last game, and I still lost. My opponent with the turn 4 win versus our turn 3 got him down to like 7 or something. And yeah, we're up against goblins, so their turn, they probably turn for us. They're gonna rope me here. Rope me just because they want to show off their dominance. I suppose we play that. Really need a glass casket for the Skirk Prospector. It will just beat us on its own because it lets them play Muxus sooner. Although it looks here like the opponent... Okay. That's weird. Do they have another one? That's funky. Well, they go to get the Muxus. So Scrap Heap Scrounger here isn't as much damage as playing 2 of these. The opponent might block the Bomat Courier, which I guess I'd welcome. The problem is now we can't use Unlicensed Disintegration this turn. But the opponent doesn't have Krenko. Wow. Okay. They're feeling aggressive. Alright, is this a Muxus turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not yet. Oh, come on. Again? Did I really just get Ironcrag feeded Muxus twice today? Ah, this format, man. This format! Looks good, but I'm on the draw, so it might not matter. But let's find out. Turn 1, Sarah Ascendant, life gain. Awesome. Can we put damage on them to keep this thing from getting strong? Birth of Meletus, though, that's, I mean, that's a life gain card, but I don't know if that's good enough. Attack. We got Vin Diesel here. Powers up the vehicles and their drivers. It's all about family. Speaker. How do we possibly deal enough damage here? I suppose we'll have to play the Harvester. We should attack with both. The opponent could double block and we could kill a Speaker. I suppose that's gonna do. Actually, if we play this, this hits for 4, which means we still get damage through. Family. Get ready for some angels. There's one. Just 5 life, no big deal. However, it seems we stopped their onslaught, and now we have more rides. Let's see, this can keep attacking. If we play 2 artifacts, it gains first strike. I think that's a big deal. It makes the double blocking it difficult. Since Bomat can crew Harvester, I think the Harvester is a better play. Gotta attack with Scrap Heap Scrounger because it can't block. And if they kill it, we can always get it back later. Alright, the opponent's making their move. They're gonna chump. So now they have to try to get above 25 life, 27 life, 30 life. Can they do it? There's your 26 life. Ooh, 27. Okay, because this is an angel. So now they get another angel. And oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There's no coming back. They're up to 33. Are you kidding me right now? No! What? What? Alright, I'm getting clowned. I'm getting absolutely clowned. If we draw an Unlicensed Disintegration, hit this, they go down to 30. Yeah, forget it. Just forget it. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing here. We're on the play with a good hand, so it's now or never. If the deck loses this one, you may never even see this, because it might get deleted with no video made. Moving Marsh, huh? Fatal Push already? Looks like it. Easy. I wonder if there was thought to pushing the Scrounger. Okay. Some kind of a Marvel deck. So we're going to Thoughtseize them. Do we Thoughtseize them now, or do we wait another turn? Let's scry first. Unlicensed Disintegration, Heart of Kirin. Do we want Heart of Kirin? Is it too slow? Is that our play next turn if the opponent doesn't play anything? I guess so. Maybe I should have Thoughtseized this first. Oh, wow. Nice top deck, dude. Jeez. What am I supposed to do about that? Glass Casket at some point, but for now, that's just like, ouch. The value. Puzzle Knot Crack. Up to 6 energy, more life. Life, life, life. A little extra damage here. Take 8. Do I get Gigantha? I guess so. Land means Gigantha can come down and crew hard if the opponent sweeps the board somehow. And there's no guarantee I'll have something to disintegrate. So what do you hit here with your Marvel? Because we haven't seen anything like that. They're at 12. Punch, punch, punch. Just give me a target, baby. Just give me a target. A tune. Couldn't they have just played land and turn Timber Symbiosis? I guess maybe there's nothing they could hit that would help. So they're gonna bring back Uro. Okay, can I do this with the life gain trigger on the stack? Let's see. Opponent's life total is currently 3. Now it's 0. We're coming back. We're coming back. On the play. Can't play the Apprentice. I guess we're going Thoughtseize into possible Casket, Harvester, Apprentice. Alright. Once we have an artifact, though, we can play anything we need to. So, they're not going to have the turn 1 creature. The Wily Goblin provides the mana. The War Chief... The Krenko is like a good unlicensed disintegration target, assuming we draw one more land. Is the best take the Goblin? The Wild... What a dumb thing to say. I think it's this. The thing that provides value. Okay, another land. Good. Means we get to hold the Casket. Alright, please say go. I found a Prospector. Well, we want them to ramp out the Krenko next turn, so I think we can play Harvester here. If they play Krenko, we unlicense it. If they don't play Krenko, we Casket the Prospector. Maybe something else if we draw land. Trust me, I know we need to get rid of Prospector. I just don't know that it's important right this second. I'm kind of hoping they just ramp out a Krenko into the unlicensed disintegration. they're not going to do that. Okay, so we need a land off the top here. Double glass casket would be nice. Not a tap land either. Not used to priority being held, Goblin player. All right. Perfect. See if the opponent wants to sacrifice here. They do not. Our clock is still pretty slow, to be honest. Alright, pay for the lifelink. Hopefully we draw a 1-mana way to crew this. Bowmat Courier, Inventor's Apprentice, Toolcraft Exemplar, so that we can unlicense Disintegration and hit for 5. That will make a huge difference. Oh, are we missing a land? Let's see what the opponent fetches here. Prospector, yeah? And we drew the 1. Invest of 1. No, just kidding. That's why we run so many, baby. They're always pretty good. I think I'm gonna fire off the Unlicensed Disintegration instead of the Gigantha. It all depends what the opponent plays. They're in range here. We need the Unlicensed Disintegration resolve. So if they place Prospector first, I think I fire Unlicensed Disintegration at the Matron. 3 points. Down to 7. They do have a removal here for the Bowmat. They're going to use it. They're missing land drops so far. Let's see if they hit. Off the top, it's a land. Can we close this thing? It's going to be close. Scrounger. Scrounger will keep the Harvester coming strong. The opponent needs a land off the top, and then they can... Whoa. So I even crewed wrong. Some of you may have caught it. I crewed with the Apprentice. I should have crewed with the Scrounger. I'm just surprised the opponent scooped there. Holy cow. Because, yeah, definitely should have crewed with the Scrounger. I don't know what I was thinking. That was a misclick all the way. But if they take this and go to 2, and they top deck a land and sack Prospector, they mux us. If they mux us, they might win. I haven't seen Hazoret in a long time. This hand might bring her back. And we're on the play, so that's exciting. Feels like it's been a minute. I'll take it. Aether Hub on 1. Alright, Marvel. Against Marvel, the only thing that matters, Thoughtseize and going fast. Vroom vroom. Let's do this. No Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot. That's good. Opponent might block the Scrounger, though. Let's see if they do. Yep. We won't have enough to attack with Hazoret next turn. Not quite yet. Cultivate. That surprises me. Our opponent's still on 4 energy. Thoughtseize off the top. So, play you. Pay him another 2 life. Just, you know, that's what we do here. Take the Marvel. Okay, don't take the Marvel. What do we take? How do we get this job done? Double Marvel. So now we need the opponent to play the Marvel. We need to keep them from getting energy. So I think we take the Uro. There's 3 cards in the graveyard. This goes up to 4. This goes up to 5. Fabled Passage, and they get back their Uro. So taking Uro is not great. And it's probably their play next turn. Although they want to play the Marvel first to get the energy from it. Do you think they're going to get to the Ugin? Maybe it's the Growth Spiral, actually. Yeah, well... Like, Ugin, those are high investment plays. So I think we're okay with that. Let's pump the artifact creature. Let's attack. Down to 10. Hazoret next turn. Yep, they want the Marvel on the field for when they play this. Oh no! They top decked a 2. No! So let's see how good their hits are. Because that's my question, is I see a lot of good cards, not a lot of filler. So do they have good hits for their Marvel? And they get a Puzzle Knot. Alright, down to 1. So, if they hit Ugin, they're not dead, because they go back up to 4 here. It has to be an Ugin. It's an Uro. Don't think that will save you. This dies, gets another energy. They can get back the Uro, block this, they're at 10, but Pia Nalar can make it so that the Uro can't block, but they're at 10. And this is our only artifact, but we have another in Scrounger. This is really close. I think we've got it, though. Target creature can't block. Look at Pia Nalar showing up. And that's game. Pia Nalar! Woo! Ugh, no 1-drops. No Thoughtseize. I mean, just doing nothing for 2 turns, I think, is losing the game. Better. I think we put away the Harvester and rely on the Scrounger. The other idea is that we put away either the Apprentice or the Exemplar and give ourselves 2 artifacts. I guess that's a lot safer. Because otherwise, if an artifact dies, like if we put away the Harvester and our Scrounger dies, then we're just attacking with weak creatures. It's not good enough. But we have to draw land. Yay. Hiya! Fabled Passage. Control? If it's a traditional control style deck, the Unlicensed Disintegration is not good. But the rest of the deck should be pretty solid. We do need the opponent to play a creature, though. It's looking unlikely, but their hand is not particularly great yet. And we can play around counter magic pretty well next turn. But do we want to? I'm just gonna make them play a counter here, I think. Or no, we attack first. Then play Hazoret? Ah, they play Cast Out, though. But they might Wrath, right? Alright. So I don't want to get this exiled, so I will crew with this. Okay, they go to 5. If we play this and they Wrath, that's really bad. If I buy the Gigantha, I think we just say go. I might even... No, I'm not going to unlicense my own thing, but... Oh, man. If I don't play the Hazoret this turn, then I might draw an uncastable next turn, and then Hazoret can't even attack. I guess in response to a Wrath, I can unlicense Disintegration my own creature. And that keeps my hand small. And then Hazoret comes down and wins the game. They must have a Wrath, or I don't think they keep this hand at all. So they did nothing. We could play the Hazoret if they let it resolve, which they have to, or we just attack for lethal, right? Not necessarily. This is all about settle the wreckage now. If they settle this and I play Hazoret, do I lose? Is there a way that I lose? I don't know. Alright, well they can't counter this. So that had to happen. If we attack with both, I think I'd rather keep the Scrounger. And then we attack with 2, settle the wreckage. We don't get any land because we don't run those. But now the opponent has to solve this. Just you. Game. Alright. Whew! Man, I wasn't sure what was going to happen there. And we are back for the post-game wrap-up. I'll try to make this one quick since the intro was long. And yep, vroom vroom. On the play, powerful deck. On the draw, in Historic, woo! It's tough. Even though we have removal and disruption in Thoughtseize, sometimes the opponent's decks just do their thing and it feels like we get steamrolled. Historic is so lopsided as a format, I haven't figured out how to interact with it and actually play games of Magic. It just feels like Steamroller 1 or Steamroller 2. But maybe that's how some people like to play Magic. Take some of the weight off of making decisions. Stressing about this or that. Nah, just play your cards. Maybe you win, maybe you lose. I don't know. Maybe that's why Best of 1 is so popular as a format. Hard to say. Anyway, this deck, it requires a lot of crafting. So here's who should craft this deck. If you loved the Kaladesh vehicles and you don't mind spending the money and it's a good nostalgia hit for you, I think you play this deck. Otherwise, you better look at this deck and be like, oh my gosh, that is my freaking jam. If someone out there is looking at this deck being like, that's my jam, that's everything I want in Magic, then you should craft it. But if you're trying to craft it as a get to Mythic, I think it can get to Mythic with enough grinding. But if you're trying to craft it as a get to Mythic or as a way to attack the meta, I think there are better decks in Historic. Maybe you're bored of them already, but that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? There are better decks. You just might not like them or be bored with them. So decide how to use your wild cards. It's up to you, after all. All right. Ugh, throat. What's wrong with me? Blah. He's dying. No. I just have a frog in my throat, guys. I haven't been sick in a million days. I haven't taken a sick day in over 600 days in a row. How many days in a row is it now? 600 and... No, is that real? Oh, yesterday was 650. Today's 651. Yeah, yesterday was the video with Alias. That's why I didn't catch it. 650 videos in a row. I don't take no sick day. You guys will remember, the longtime fans remember the beanie of sickness. I still record. I still play the Magic. I'm just loopy and kind of bad at it. It's actually kind of fun content. I should make more sick content without being sick. What's that called? Oh yeah, being drunk. I don't do that either. Anyway. Twitch Prime. Renew your Twitch Prime, please, if you are a Twitch subscriber. If you are an Amazon Prime, if you have an Amazon Prime in your household and you would like to support my channel for free with some clicks of buttons, and you don't already have figured out like linked a Twitch account or a Twitch Prime, here's what's up. When you have Amazon Prime, at least in the US, then you get a free subscription called Twitch Prime or Twitch Gaming. So go to Twitch, open an account, search Google link Amazon and Twitch accounts. Follow the steps. Then when you click on my Twitch account, you'll get an option to subscribe. Click subscribe. If you scroll down on that button, there will be an option to subscribe for free. If you did it right, subscribe for free. If you do that once a month, I get paid. It really helps. It's a big reason why the Twitch keeps going, quite honestly, because YouTube is really, really great. Twitch is a bit of a grind, but people love the Twitch content. And one of the big reasons I keep doing it is because you guys use Twitch to support me and show appreciation for the content at no cost to yourselves. I can't stress that enough. For you, it's free if you have an Amazon Prime subscription in your house. So please renew. Thanks for listening to that again. And last thing, chair. CovertGoBlue chair. Extra life. For raising over $5,000, which we raised $12,000. Thank you again. DX Racer sent me this blue chair. So I haven't figured it out yet. But we're going to have to figure out how to decide what chair to sit in, you know? We're going to have like a war of the chairs. Maybe evil CGB should have a chair, and good CGB should have a chair. I don't know. Tell me, how should we decide the chair wars? Leave me a comment. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.